my name is Roseanne Kassir. I identify myself as a recovered alcoholic. I was born, to a great family. My parents were together since they were 16 years old. They grew up in the church, really big, in a Roman Catholic church out of Newark, New Jersey. My parents moved to Verona, little tiny town, great school system, safe. We're going to have a family in the safest place that we can find. That was a priority. And I've always felt like I was a priority to my parents. I'm the oldest of 4 kids. And I guess if I think about who I was as a kid, I thought I was perfect, except that I was fat. That's how I would have described myself. I thought I was smarter, absolutely, than you or anybody else. I had this edge where I thought I knew best, except for that little thing that I'm fat, so I might not be as pretty as you. But it was just, it made me try harder in so many other areas. I lived for the pats on the back. I lived for it. In my mind, you're either getting the pat on the back and you're doing it right, or you're wrong. I came home, I got 1 C in elementary school, and I will never forget my dad looking at me. He was so disappointed. And he said to me, he's like, C is not acceptable. It just won't work. And I was never going to get a C again. I was always going to get A's. Well, it wasn't too long before I realized I could actually say I got the A and still keep the love. So I began being a liar long before I was considering having a drink. As a child, I was told and believed, you're genetically loaded to be an alcoholic. We all are in our family. We cannot drink. I'm like, well, I'm never going to drink then. But I did remember we hid that Canadian club because, can't throw away good alcohol. So it was under the stairs in the basement. I remember stealing that bottle. I remember the 2 pink sides on the cap, and I remember snapping it open, and it felt dangerous because I knew. In AA, they talk about, an alcoholic falls in a hole, right? Normal person falls in the hole, says, oh my God, I gotta get out of this hole. And they jump right out. An alcoholic decorates the hole and gets really comfortable there. I know what it feels like to live that. I lived feeling like if you knew that I failed at something, now I'm a failure. And so it's not an option for me. I remember it burned my nose, the smell. I remember the taste. I remember gulping so much of it down. All the pressure from the kid that had to be perfect began to just ease. I don't know that turning to God could have helped me then. I didn't know that. I had no idea. But what I did know is that I was afraid that I don't have all the answers, and alcohol made me not feel afraid. Then I proceeded to finish the entire bottle in the next 90 minutes. I threw up in my friend's new car. I threw up on my friend, threw up on myself. I crawled around it. It was not pretty. There was nothing pretty about this. So I described that time, in detail to describe how powerful alcohol can be, and that everything I knew and how I was raised did not determine my success in that fight, because I wasn't equipped for the fight. God is my solution now, and yet I needed help to get there. I could know the truth and yet make a new truth the next day to fit whatever circumstances I'm in. I guess a slave to alcohol and drugs and my behaviors and what I was willing to do in order to get drugs, in order to feel okay. It's a difficult path when I feel trapped here. This is the smallest, worst neighborhood in the world, right, without the light of God. In 2012, my son in July of 2012, he he overdosed. I found Adam, blood everywhere, passed out, piles of heroin. He was rushed to the hospital, 3 different hospitals, because they didn't have. He almost died. He ended up at Children's Specialized Hospital to be put in. He was in a coma all this time, but they wanted to use the heart-lung machine on him to see if they could possibly save his life. And a doctor there said, "Can you give me 24 hours? I think I have another way." And they did. They did save him, but he was still in a coma, and as a result of that coma and the breathing machine, he was still on a breathing machine. He came out of the coma, he was paralyzed from the neck down. He went through all of that to go to physical therapy for a year, occupational therapy, learn how to talk, learn how to walk, learn how to breathe. Did it? He had leg braces, but he could walk on his own and everything. Success, yay, it should be. And that's not it, because he went out one night and he went to meet someone that I didn't even know. I didn't even know that she used drugs. And it was, ironically, the night of my celebration. My home group celebrated that December 31st. I got home that night, I had a bad feeling. He came home. My kid came home. I was like, oh my God. He said, "Oh, Jesse's with me. Do you want us to go downstairs in the TV room, or is my room okay?" I'm like, "I'm just so happy you're home. I'm gonna sleep like a rock. I don't even care where you go." And less than an hour later, or 2 hours later, the police crashed open my door. My dog was going nuts. My son overdosed in his bedroom. I don't know, the next room over from mine, while I was in bed. And the police came in because the girl that he was with stole his phone and took the needle out of his arm so that she wouldn't get caught, and called the police to send them there. And it was too late. I never saw my son again from when he kissed me goodnight. I guess that's God's gift. I have regret about that sometimes too, that I didn't go in, but my dog was going nuts, so I took the dog in my room so that the police could do what they said. That's the other reason that I'm here, because Adam was a beautiful person. He was the most loving. I've never met, nobody has ever loved me the way that kid did, ever. I still feel that way about him. My life was forever changed when Adam was born, forever changed. And it is still forever changed because he died. We did every rehab, and then there was a long-term program that I knew someone in, and they said, "Oh, we'll get you in there. You have to go through this hospital." I don't want to disparage the hospital or anything, but he went in there begging for help. Okay, begging for help. The first week in December, and he was denied. They said, "But okay, honey, your insurance is gonna re-up on January 1st, then you'll be okay." And he died the day before. So it's like a problem that the solutions we have, they don't match the problem. We have to scrap that old idea and have an idea that where we're not judging, truly not judging, and asking God for the ability to look at people that can't stop using drugs as God's kids that need help. And we have to give them enough space. 2 weeks, 7 days. Well, we approved you for 7 days, 14 days, 30 days. No way. If the pandemic has done anything, it has underlined the fact that people are turning to drugs and alcohol more than ever before. We can't save every single person, but we're saving no one until we save the first one, right? And we need a program that is going to offer, the very tangible. I had to work steps before I could find God and work God into my life, even though I believed in God. What if I didn't believe in God, which is more usual than my experience. My kid did not believe that God believed in him, okay? He didn't. He told me that. I don't have the faith you have, Mom, because God doesn't believe. And I know that God does, right? God gave Adam to me. That's where I still feel that. And, so I just applaud the efforts that, because we'll never get there if we don't try. So guarantees, studies, numbers, I can't give anyone that, but I do know that allowing people to be accepted right where they are in the depths of their disease and shining a light, even if it's a little tiny flashlight in the beginning, that maybe this could get better, that's enough space for God. I've seen it myself, that when I use that worst part of me to help somebody else, I don't even feel bad that I'm an addict. I'm a recovered alcoholic, okay? From a seemingly hopeless state of mind and body, provided I work to find God first thing in the morning and do as I feel that He wishes. So that's available to anyone. I know it, and I want to be a part of any effort that would offer that to our addicts of today. So thanks so much for letting me share.